Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to discuss whether single Inferno towers are having a comeback or not. I will show you guys a couple of different situations, a couple of different bases on where you guys can see, and in the end of the video we're coming to a conclusion of whether you guys should use single Inferno towers in the current meta and when and where should you should use that. All of this together. Let's get started with the video. If you guys would like to see me live, make sure to tune in today in today's live stream. I'm streaming live on Twitch from 6 to 8 p.m. CET. Make sure to get the time zone right, otherwise it might be a bit confusing. And then we're streaming from 8 to 10 p.m. in German. So I don't mind showing fails of me, and this is one of my huge fails on this base. And it shows and it highlights pretty well the current meta in base building. Especially in Legend League, you are seeing more and more people switching over to single Inferno towers, and this has a big reason. Like, the reason behind that is that you're having Yetis super strong at the moment. You're having Queen charges, Warden charges, Royal Champion charges. You have all of those heroes going strong, and what is the best counter to counter Yetis? Maybe even E-Drags and all of the heroes? Well, that's single Inferno towers, and this is a really big thing which is coming up lately, and it's super annoying to attack in Legend League because single Inferno towers, they can so easily mess up your attack. We're not paying attention for 1 second, and then your hero is like dying, or you're losing a queen ability or stuff like that. That's never a good thing. In addition to that, you're seeing more and more ground expos. Like, the combination of 3 single Inferno towers and 4 ground expos is getting more and more popular, and it's super annoying to deal with when you're a ground attacker. Especially with this army, it's really annoying to get into this with having this army cooked up. So let's see why everyone is using it, and then let's talk about whether it's a good or a bad thing, and whether you can counter it or whether you should counter it. So the reason, like I said, is that all of those heroes are so strong at the moment, which means, for example, for this army composition, you're normally starting off with a Warden charge or with a Queen charge. Either way, you have to find an area where not that much damage is located, and the second thing is you obviously need an area where no single Inferno towers are located. For example, if you would like to start at the bottom of this base, like at the 6 o'clock side, you will have huge issues because there's the single Inferno tower. You have no chance to do a Warden walk over there. In addition to that, all of the ground expos are making things even harder, and this is one of the things which is messing up attacks right now completely, that's the reason why you are having so many ring bases at the moment, because it's super risky. Like, if you're executing your attack perfectly, you're getting the triple. But if you're doing only a couple of mistakes, you can run into a 1-star or even sometimes a 0-star, and this is most of the time way more better as a defender. And that's the reason why so many people are using ring bases, overall trophy bases at the moment, which means anti-3-star bases in Legend League are not too nice to use at the moment. So let's get started with the attack. We're starting off with our king at the bottom, and then we're doing the big mistake. We're using the ram into all of the ground damage, which means we cannot even open the first wall. 3-point defenses with 2 cannons and 1 archer tower. In addition to that, one of the ground expos is melting our ram, which means we are not making it through the first wall. Then I was hoping for things go through the wall, which means they're just going for the wall straight, but that did not happen either, which now means we're having a lot of trouble. And from this point on, it's really hard to get into the base because, well, all of the things are going around and they're doing what troops should do on a ring base. In addition to that, we have a huge problem because we are having single Inferno towers next to the town hall, which means normally you always have the option of sending in your Royal Champion as a back-end option. Like, always just send in the Royal Champion, save the 2nd star. That's not really possible if you have single Inferno towers around the town hall. That's a super big issue, and this is shown in this attack. So let's take a look at the next one. And in the next base, we're seeing this time anti-3-star style, and we're seeing 2 single Inferno towers. Once again, you need to know where to place single Inferno towers, because we will come to this later again, but a small glimpse already of what will happen. It's not always useful, but sometimes it is. So let's take a look at this base, and you have 2 the flanking options basically for this town hall, you have single Inferno towers, which means normally you always try to go on one of the flanks of the town hall on an anti 3-star base, then walk towards the town hall, get into the town hall, jump into the middle of the base, and then those anti 3-star ring bases, and no ring bases, anti 3-star bases, sorry, have huge problems and huge issues to defend this attack. This is one of the most common things to do if you're facing anti 3-star bases, and with having the flanking Inferno towers to the town hall being single Inferno towers, that makes things not easier. So for me, I'm attacking with the Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack, and I have to get in somewhere. I do not want to have the town hall on the back end, because right now, if your town hall's, if the town hall's on the back end and your Hawk Riders are going into the Giga Inferno Tower bomb with the slow, that's just super annoying. Like, they're attacking so slowly after that. And this is already the first mistake I did. Like I said, those single Inferno towers make small mistakes look really bad. And even worse than normally on multi-Inferno towers. And things can turn really, really fast, really bad. Because on this one, I didn't pay attention for 1 second. And this caused me not only a freeze, but my queen ability as well. So this together means to me, the Inferno tower on single is way more, like, it is way more risky as an attacker if you're doing only one small mistake. On the other hand, the multi-Inferno tower is more like on a basic level. Like, the multi-Inferno tower is always solid, but it's not more than that. It's not amazing or whatever, it's only solid. Which means the single Inferno towers can be the best and it can be the worst at the same time. So this is why it makes this Inferno tower so like a coin flip to use. But let's take a look at even more bases after watching the rest of this attack, because I don't know, I didn't really only mess up this thing, I messed up a couple of more things. I placed my Royal Champion too early, then obviously I tried to go for the town hall. I opened up the Slammer to have like the death damage of the Slammer activating the town hall, which worked, but except that was the only thing which kind of worked in this attack. Like I said, having or not having the queen ability later on in this raid cost me heavily, and well, a lot of things went not as planned. So this is going to be another attack and another fail on a ring, on an under 3-star base. I don't know why I want always to say ring base, but this was an under 3-star base, and like I said, on those two flanks of the town hall, it was really, really well planned of the base builder to put single Inferno towers in there. So let's take a look at the next one, and this is the current meta in Legend League. You're having 4 ground expos and 3 single Inferno towers. This is super annoying to attack because you have to face so many risky things. But let's take a look at why this is so strong. Like I said, what are the strongest things on Town Hall 13? Yetis as a troop are just crazy strong. Overall ground attacks are crazy strong, which means you're facing 4 ground expos, but you need to defend air as well. Which means if you want to defend air, which means Electro Dragons in that sense, you need to have something against those as well. Which means single Inferno towers are a good option against that. In addition to that, those single Inferno towers are wrecking P.E.K.K.A, Yetis, enemy heroes really fast, which makes them a good use in Legend League. So that you see already the difference in Legend to normal war layouts, for example, because the difference in there is if someone is running 3 single Inferno towers and 4 ground expos, well, normal people just do Lalo on them if they are able to do Lalo. Otherwise, bats are a really good option. Dragons are good options. Drag bat, let's go. So there are a couple of things out there which can counter this, but at the same time in Legend League, it's super, super effective at the moment. So let's take a look at this attack against 3 single Inferno towers, and let's see how they can make a difference or they are not making a difference. And after that, we're coming to a conclusion of whether you guys should use it or whether it's like still a really bad thing. So for me, the start was pretty simple, just like putting the king on the outside, which is in behind, put a couple of Yetis into the core, hopefully, and then just walk the ring into the back end, into all of the expos. So out of the boulders, or like a couple of boulders are coming inside, a couple of boulders are going on the outside. So far, everything is looking pretty good still, considering that, well, we're not having too much going into the core, but the important thing is that the queen is going into the core, and that's the thing which matters. Which means the town hall getting taken out. We already had to use 1 free spell just because of the single Inferno tower. If that would have been a multi, no problem. We would have had both freezes still up. Which means already 2 freezes less for the back end. Which could be a big deal considering there are 4 expos and you can always freeze 2 ground expos and a scatter shot together. This has crazy value, and not having the free spells for the backend is costing me a lot, which means this attack is coming to an end because all of the ground expos are shooting like crazy. We have no chance to really enter into the base. I'm swaying a rage at this point basically because I don't know why I dropped it, but I somehow dropped it. And yeah, from this point on, it's not working. Like 4 ground expos without anything to support my royal champion and my slammer, there's no chance on earth that this is going to be a triple, which means with 2 freezers, this could have been a different story. So this means that single Inferno Towers and ground expos are right now in Legend League one of the best things you can do if you want to defend against the current meta attacks, because not that many people are using, for example, like Dragbat and stuff like this. In war, it's always a risk. So let's now talk about when and where to use single Inferno Towers, which is basically my conclusion. So there are always good and bad things where you can use it. I think at the moment the single Inferno Tower might be a little bit better than the multi Inferno Tower. At the same time, it's more risky to use. So on this base, let's take a look. You always need to identify your base and where you want the opponent to enter, which means with the single Inferno Towers, you can defend certain entries, and you can open up different areas on your base where you can bait opponents into something. Like for example, let's put something on single where you know, okay, no one will do a warden walk on this side of the base, which means we do not need to defend this area. For example, if you would put a multi-Inferno Tower on this side, which is always decent, like multi-Inferno Tower is always decent, always like putting damage out there on whatever troop is coming near to him. But it means it's only decent because it is nothing like too crazy where the opponent could do a mistake, because the damage is like all the time the same. For example, single Inferno Tower, you can't put something into the single Inferno Tower, for example, like a warden walk, which means you cannot, like, you can easily defend that. For example, like this guy. The Town Hall was reachable from the outside, and then just walk into the back end with having a multi-Inferno Tower over there, which is doing nothing basically to my queen. I don't care about the multi-Inferno Tower. Like, this multi-Inferno Tower is basically worse than a Tesla over there. So this means having a single Inferno Tower, for example, over there would have been way more successful. Let's talk about the other Inferno Towers and whether they are set up correctly. Let's talk about the right Inferno Tower. Over there, like, no one is entering over there. Like, if someone is going actually from the right side into this base, he would probably use a ram. He would use a ram for the first 2 layers, and after that, the ram would die anyway. Like, there's no need for the single Inferno Tower. On the other hand, the Inferno Tower on the upper left side is pretty good. You can reach it from the outside, obviously, but that could be at the same time a bait. Like, put some single Inferno Tower on the outside, put some ground skeletons around there, and if someone's thinking like, yeah, easy, I can queen walk that Inferno Tower, this base builder was stupid. Well, just put a couple of nice traps in between, and the attacker will be proven wrong really fast. So those are a couple of things which are working pretty nicely, and like I said, the defending possibilities of single Inferno Towers, especially for a back-end Royal Champion, are crazy nice, because the Royal Champion is not working as the Queen, where if you use her ability, the Queen is going invisible, which means she's canceling the damage basically of the single Inferno Tower. The Royal Champion is working differently. The Royal Champion is not going invisible or anything. She's just recovering health, which means if the single Inferno Tower is like getting slowly stacked up, he will just melt through the health of the Royal Champion. So this is the big difference, and this is why I think the single Inferno Towers are having a comeback right now. Let's see if there are balance challenges soon. I don't know. I think the Yetis are still way too strong. I still think that the Royal Champion might be a little bit too strong. Let's see if something is happening. I guess if something is happening, it's happening before the Town of 13 Cup. So like Supercell have a nice idea after the Cup of what the competitive players are using. But let's see what is happening. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and guys, make sure to put a couple of your Inferno Towers on single and put those expos on ground, most of them at least, but still get a couple of them or get a couple of traps on air to make sure to defend those E-Drags as well. See you guys in the next video, and hopefully I see you guys today in the live stream from 6 to 8 p.m. CET, and like I said, make sure to get that time zone correct. I will see you guys tomorrow or later on today. See you guys, and bye bye.